What is going on, guys? JT43 here, and in this video I'm going to be installing rear drilled and slotted brake rotors, basically doing my brakes. The only thing I'm not doing is painting the calipers. I still have to do that. Reason why I'm doing that is because my car looks kind of dumb right now. I have the drilled, not slotted, StopTech front brakes or front rotors, and it looks dumb as hell because I don't have it in the rear. So it's looking like I spent all the money in the front, and in the rear I left nothing. Like it's all like stock and stuff. So we're gonna be changing that today with let's see what we got here. We got some Power Stop Evolution TrueCast Performance drilled and slotted rotors. So I'm gonna go over what I'm gonna be using for brakes. So obviously we have the Power Stops here, and then a little bit on the cheaper side, we're doing some Duralast Gold brake pads. I got these two on Rock Auto for like $7, and these are the only drilled and slotted rotors you can get for the TC as of the date of this video. Tire rack is all sold out. I originally was gonna get another pair of StopTechs, but obviously for the rear, completely sold out. Fast Scions has a couple different drilled and slotted, also out of stock. I believe Advanced Auto also has a drilled and slotted rear brake rotor, also out of stock. So Rock Auto was the only one that had these in stock, so I went ahead and got them. We're doing Duralast Gold, not only because of the price, but your brake system is like in 80-20%. So 80% of your braking is your fronts. So you want to make sure you always have good front brakes. You can afford to cheap out a little bit in the rear. Obviously you still want to have decent setup, but if you're looking at this and going, why would you do that? I'm currently running AutoZone front pads in the front. So if you watch my channel, it was a little bit of a while ago, I was chasing down a front brake vibration. Basically my wheel would go crazy whenever I would tap the brake. It ended up being the rotors. So I went into AutoZone, I bought brake pads and rotors just to test everything out. It ended up being the rotors. I kept the pads on there. Yeah, so I never changed out the brake pads, and it still stops on a dime. So, you know, people like to shit on AutoZone, and, you know, I kind of understand, but it's decent stuff. So I went ahead and went with the Duralast Gold. But enough talking about it, let's go ahead and throw it on the car. I'm gonna start off with jacking up the car and taking off the wheels. So clearly we got the wheel off and stuff. I mean, to a lot of you guys, this might be a little bit funny, but I said it in a couple other videos that like, I really am not starting to like tire shops at all. Like this is just, it's getting really ridiculous. So this stud, it's not the end of the world. I just need to get another spacer. It's not that big of a deal. So this stud completely stripped out, and same thing with the lug nut. I had some tires done. They're not torquing wheels. They're literally just gunning them on. I usually am able to, you know, loosen them up by hand first and then take them off. I had to get this guy out. Now, if you have like F-150 Colorado, Silverado, I understand why you need to do it straight with the gun. There is no reason why this Milwaukee, I think it's like 550 pound-feet of torque it can take off. There's no reason why this Milwaukee should be struggling taking this lug nut. Like it should not be struggling. And you can argue, oh, there's rust on here, there's rust on here. I've always had rust on studs. Like I've always had rust on them. They still come off like butter. It's not like, you know what I mean? They're not seized on there. But what is happening is like some of these tire shops are just, they're gunning these shits down. I'll show you an example when I take these off, because these I've torqued myself. I'll show you how easy these are to take off. And they've been on the car the whole time. But it's annoying because now I have to get a whole new set of lugs. That means I gotta replace all of them. I'm not just rocking new lugs on one side. And I gotta get a new spacer on this side, because you're not fixing that. That's a lost cause. So if you work at a tire shop and you're watching this video, please start torquing lug nuts. I know you guys work on thousands of different cars a day. One simple Google search, what's the torque for a Prius? What's the torque for this Volkswagen Beetle? You just literally, like, you can literally just ask Chat GPT at this point, like, start torquing wheels. Like, this is the most annoying thing I think I've had to deal with. And it's been a couple times like this. My old Camry that I had, literally they were just gun them on so much that I literally snapped my stud. That's what I thought was gonna happen here, but It didn't happen. But yeah, this is ridiculous. Like, I shouldn't have to be like stripping my stud just to get a fucking lug nut off. But anyway, so now what we have to do is we have to take off the spacer. So obviously I have to take off another set of lug nuts. I will be right back, and I'll show you how easy these are to take off when they're torqued correctly. All right, so the torque that I have these two are 80 to 85, right? I believe it's like 75, 80. I torque mine a little bit more. And I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna use an extension too, just to show you how easy it is, right? Here we go. See? That's it. Nothing breaking, nothing like... Sorry, I didn't mean to drop you there. All right, so now that I have all of my trailer nut things off, we could pull this off. And so I said I was gonna need a new spacer. I might be able to just pop a new stud in here. From the looks of it, I might be able to. I think I was just a little bit frustrated in that last clip, but I think I'll be able to just get a new stud in here. I don't think I'll have to buy a whole new spacer for this. I just gotta make sure that it fits all correctly and stuff. You can see it popped off so well because I used grease here. So, you know, all like the grease points and stuff. So that's why it popped off so well. But yeah, I might be able to just save this guy. I don't think I'll have to get a whole new spacer. I mean, if I do, whatever, but I should be able to just replace this guy. But anyway, on to the brakes. All right, so now, obviously, before we take the rotor off, we're gonna have to take the caliper off. Because it's a floating caliper, I'm gonna take the actual caliper part off first, and then I'm gonna take the bracket off. I believe it's either a 13 or a 14 back here. So if I just show you real quick. I made a video on how to do rear brakes. You can just go watch that, but there is 2 bolts. There's 1 bolt here, and then there's a bolt down here as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take caliper and the bracket off. All right, so we'll get back in here. Go ahead and loosen these guys up. Okay, so now that we have that off, we can go ahead. I might have to turn the emergency brake off. Yeah, I'll have to do that. I'm so used to just pulling my emergency brake. It's like secondhand nature. Let me go turn that off real quick. So for those of you that are like, you're dumb for having it on or whatever, having the e-brake on basically stops the rotor from spinning so that you can easily loosen your wheel. Or if in my case I had spacers, I don't have to jam anything in my caliper. E-brake held the rotor for me. So yeah, I forgot to turn it off. Oh well. All right, so now that this guy's free, should be able to just pull this guy off just like that. And so I have a little trick for this guy. Now we'll move on to the brackets. To take the actual bracket off, there are 2 bolts back here. One of them is right here, and another one is on the bottom right, where's my hand at? Right here. I believe they're either 14s or 15s. Let me go find that out real quick. They're also 14s, so we'll just go ahead and loosen these guys up. Perfect. And we'll do the bottom. Oh. So yeah, after you have those loosened up, you can take the pads out now if you want. You can take them out with the bracket, but some people find it easier to just take the actual pads out now. I'll have to kind of pry these guys out. There we go. There's one, which this guy has like the tiniest bit of pad life, but it's also like, you know, oh, look at that. It wore very strange because there's still a little bit of line here, but on this side it's completely done for. And I believe the other side is the side that was like really making like the crushing noise, which it was. Yeah, that's not good. This is not good. And you can see here the actual like tab to put the fucking thing in is getting scraped. So that's what was making this awful, god-awful noise. But we're here to replace that. So now that we have the pads out, we can go ahead and just remove the bracket bolts completely, and then we'll pull this bracket off. So now that we have the bracket bolts out, we simply just pull the bracket off. We're gonna deal with the clips in a little bit because these clips are now garbage, but we'll set that off to the side, and now we'll move on to the rotor. Now, hopefully I don't have to like smack the shit out of this thing, because I really just wanna like, you could put 2 10s in, which I might actually end up doing, but we'll see. Let me see if I can get this off the easy way. right, so I got a bolt that fits. We're gonna hold the rotor. I'm just gonna crank this bitch on there until it pops off. Perfect. I should have done that to begin with, but you know, my bad, you know. Oof. And here is my oh so crusty hub, which will get replaced soon. I do have an idea to replace, you know, some of the rear suspension. I still have to put my Megan Racing coils in, so hopefully that will come soon. Let's take a look at the back of this. Oh yeah, that's not good. That's not what you want. The good thing we're replacing it. We'll go clean up the new rotor. Let's go ahead and do that. Obviously, don't mind the mess. We've been really busy trying to get the CJ7 back on the road, so there's shit everywhere, but we're gonna go ahead and clean the rotor. Let's pop these bad boys open and take a look at them. Oh yeah, man, these look, oh, you can barely even see them. Yeah, these look nice, man. So obviously, nothing crazy, just drilled and slotted, but I always wanted to match the front. Now the front isn't slotted, only drilled, but I think this will look nice in the rear and it'll finally match the kind of theme I'm going for. So yeah. All right, so we got some brake cleaner, we got some paper towels. Go ahead and spray this guy down. Now I learned my lesson when I was figuring out what was wrong with my front brakes with that vibration. And I completely forgot to wipe it down, like spray it down and wipe it down, because I was in such a rush to just see, like, is it really my rotors? I scared the shit out of myself. I saw like smoke coming up from the front and I thought my shit was like catching on fire. It scared the absolute shit out of me. So you definitely want to make sure that you get all that grease off. That should be good. We'll go ahead and we'll throw this guy on the car. All right, so we got these gloves on. We will go ahead and put these guys on. Just like that. So, yeah. They look, obviously they're brand new. They look really good. All right, so now that we have this guy on, we'll go ahead and throw the bracket on. All right, so next, before we put this bracket on, a lot of people like to wire brush it and, you know, sand it down and get it all nice and stuff. I'm kind of in a pinch. I don't really have time to do that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop these old clips off. So we'll grab a new clip from our bin of clips and we'll just attach these the same way that it was the old style. All right, there we go. So we got it all clipped in. Go ahead and pop this old clip off. Make sure they're pushed all the way, which they are. And nice, you can see the gaps in them too. It follows the gap inside here. This one follows the gap inside there, so it looks all good. So now that we have these all complete, we can go ahead and throw the bracket on. All right, so I kind of have an updated thing on what to do with this guy. So this caliper doesn't get pushed back, it gets twisted back. In my first video, I went to AutoZone and I purchased the correct tool for this, but you don't actually need that. So you can just use pliers and you just put it in the grooves here and you just twist clockwise. All right, so now we have the caliper pushed back just enough, we can go ahead and put the pads in. So here's pad number 1. Okay, so the non-screecher clip goes on the outer side, and then the one with the screecher clip, I usually put mine upward, goes on the inside. After that, we're gonna go ahead and put the 214s back. So let's do that. All right, and so once you have your floating caliper tightened up, that's pretty much it, and it looks really good. I do think that the stop text would look better just because this section here is black and I think it looks a little bit cleaner, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Once again, a lot of people think that's drilled and slotted is cringe, but I don't know, I like it. It's, yeah, I mean, it's a TC, why are you doing that? People underestimate this car all the time in the toge and on the track. You're not gonna sit there and tell me that you drive a Miata on the track in toge and all that, but you wouldn't drive a Honda Civic or a Scion TC on the track. It's just not, oh, rear-wheel drive to front wheel. We're not doing all that. So I think it looks really good. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up here, and then I'm gonna time lapse me doing the other side. right, so here is the finished product. I got everything torqued down. I do have a plan for the calipers. I'd like to either paint them black and just hide them, or match them with the front with the red. I'm probably just gonna end up painting them black and just hiding them, but as far as the drilled and slotted, it looks even now. So we got that, and then if we come up here, we have that. So it looks a lot more level, and it looks even now. Also, for the other side, I was able to press a new stud in. So now we have that fixed too. Yeah, anyway, both sides, I just gotta finish this up. I'm not gonna bore you with that, but if you did enjoy the video, or if this helped you out in any way, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.